Albert Einstein once said if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. What was your moment when someone judged you like that? Not me, but my brother. When he was in elementary school, when grades are based on things other than test scores, the teacher noted on his report card that he needs to work on his skill at cutting with scissors. My brother is left-handed, and the scissors in the classroom were for right-handed people. I had no idea that scissors could be left or right-handed growing up. Been thinking I didn't know how to use scissors up until like the 6th grade. Left-handers are usually great problem solvers. Probably because almost everything is right-handed and they have no choice. Had an English teacher that said any stories I wrote were bad. I thought that I'd done a good job on it, so I showed it to a different English teacher who said it was brilliant but I needed to spell check it. Turns out the first teacher basically didn't read it, just saw the spelling errors. Several years later I got diagnosed with dyslexia. This reminds me of the time my class had to write down what we wanted to be. I told my 7th grade science teacher I wanted to be a writer, but I wrote it on an index card. When she saw the index card she saw my terrible handwriting and immediately looked directly at me and said some of us should reconsider what we want to be. Needless to say, I've been excelling at basically every writing assignment ever. I wrote for my high school and college newspaper, and some even got awards. In fact, I got so many writing achievements with these that I still laugh about how she judged my writing's worth on the handwriting instead of the actual content. In high school I was really good at debate and aced all my government classes. However, I had to take a pottery class for an art credit. I sucked. Hardcore. My vase looked like some bees had taken crack before they built their hive. The teacher legitimately thought I was special needs. 2 years later I was working retail to help put myself through college. I ran into the teacher one day. "It is so awesome you have a job. Good for you." I felt like Kevin Malone being patronized by Holly Flax. My mother loves to tell this story to her friends. That fucking blows. Throwing is hard. I can hand build literally anything and get praised for it, but I can't fucking throw to save my life. This genuinely made me laugh out loud. Thanks for making my evening. You were really good at debate but couldn't convince your teacher you weren't a special needs student? When I was in grad school I worked at Starbucks to get health insurance, full-time benefits for part-time employees while I had an internship and was a full-time student. A woman came in and ordered while I was at the register and her order came to $14.92. I chuckled and said, "Columbus sailed the ocean blue." She looked at me so earnestly and said, "Yes. Never stop learning." People legitimately think anyone working retail is an idiot. I used to play a lot of poker on my phone but never with real people. At one point I was up well over $1 million. Edit, not real money. One day I went to a convention and there was a charity poker game. Since a lot of time on the phone the computer gives you your options and so on, I was excruciatingly awkward and came across as a bumbling idiot who didn't know what he was doing. This wasn't intentional but it did work in my favor. I won a nice tablet that night. I read this twice and still don't get the point being made here. I was always told how bad sleeping in class was despite acing my classes, and teachers would complain to my parents about how much I slept. I felt so horrible for so long and slept early almost every day to no avail. Turns out I have narcolepsy. So, were you micro-napping? Or out for the whole lesson? Hope you are now supported in managing this. Playing sports growing up I would make these comically bad errors. The ball would hit me directly in the face or I would swing at a pitch way too late. Everyone gave me shit, even the coaches and parents. I kept playing because I enjoyed being active and around my friends, but I never understood why no matter how much I practiced I struggled with basic things that everyone else could do without thinking. I go to the eye doctor as an adult, and he tells me that I have a condition in one of my eyes that means I don't have binocular vision and as a result have very poor depth perception. It's physically impossible for me to track moving object in space like everyone else. I know the pain, mate. Was forced to play volleyball in high school even though I obviously couldn't follow the ball. I was once looking right at it but couldn't spot it. and it hit me right in the face. Turns out I have a retinitis pigmentosa, which not only means I can't follow objects, but I can't see at night. My peripheral vision sucks, and anything that requires precision movement is out of the question. Thankfully I'm great in other fields that do not require good eye coordination. When I was in the Navy I used to get in fairly frequent trouble for the suggestions I made for improving operational efficiencies. As an outside contractor they were quite happy to pay me $200 an hour to say the exact same thing. Personal change must come from within. Organizational change must come from without. The Fortune 500 company I freelance with would prefer to use an outside vendor for a project, thinking they would do a better job since that's all they do. That vendor then hires me at my same rate, meaning the original company is just paying more for me to do the work I could have done internally. Moral of the story: if you charge more, people will think you are worth more. A $6 bottle of wine may be better than a $45 bottle, but most people will say the $45 bottle must be better because why else would it be $45? I was teased a lot in middle school/early high school for loving hockey. Would constantly get my knowledge tested, my appearance would get brought into it. Why would a fat girl like hockey? Had someone ask me if it was my passion and laugh in my face when I said yes. Joke's on them. I'm an officially credentialed journalist by the NHL now and have personally spoken to more players than they could dream of buying autographs from. The time my middle school art teacher called my parents because she thought I was purposefully mocking her by making my art bad. I literally can't draw beyond a third grade level unless I am copying an object right in front of me. My parents basically cussed her out after they saw how hurt I was. Has she really experienced such vindictive kids? Same. My K-4th grade teachers all told me I couldn't draw well and even lowered my other grades because I couldn't draw, and there was an art component to every subject like science class where I was given a low grade because my fish and fish scales weren't good enough even though the information about fish was. It was ridiculous. I hated school. I thought I was dumb and would never really get anywhere. It wasn't until 5th grade where I had a first-time teacher that told me I suck at art too. It's okay. That doesn't mean you can't be good at other things that I started getting as in everything, and honestly I started to like school because of him. Even before my first report card with him as a teacher, I actually started feeling confident in class regardless of if a subject was my strong point. Edit. If anybody knows how to contact a teacher that moved schools, is not originally from this province, I don't know their first name, and their last name is spelled in one of two ways, please let me know. I would like to thank him because my life would not be nearly as good if he didn't cure my hatred of education. Another mimic. I was always better at copying others' art than drawing something original. I'm 6 feet 6 inches, and I suck at basketball. Should have been 6 feet 7 inches, better luck next life. Judge the country kids in my English class for being dumb fucks, until I did an autos class. What I found incomprehensible, they could do with ease. I had become the dumb fuck. Respect the fact that you admitted you were the one judging people. I lived in Argentina, from us, for a little bit as a kid. At a parent-teacher conference early in the school year, one art teacher had to break it to my parents that I might be mentally disabled because I don't respond or participate. They let her know I didn't speak any Spanish, at the time. She had no idea because no one told her and my name is Spanish and it just didn't occur to her. Teacher, I think your child might be mentally challenged. Parent, no, he's just American. Once someone on Reddit started complaining about something and said I wasn't a real man for a bunch of reasons. I'm a woman, so they're not exactly wrong. I had someone tell me once, you're just jealous you can't get your dick wet. Well, you're right, I can't. Because I don't have one. 90% of what Albert Einstein quotes on the internet was not said by Albert Einstein, Internet 2019. You can, make up any quote and attribute it to anyone somewhat famous, and people on the internet will believe it. Abraham Mr. President Lincoln, 1960. Once at my workplace, I asked for help to open a box because I really couldn't open it. This one girl I worked with looked at me with disgust and didn't help me. She later talked shit about me and said I'm fucking stupid. I was born with polydactyly and they cut off my 2 extra fingers and fixed a lot of stuff. I can't use all my fingers properly. By the way, fuck you Sarah. Edit. Wow, I never thought that a comment about calling out Sarah's bullshit would be my most upvoted one, nor that it would blow up like that. Thank you, kind strangers. I have a feeling those last few sentences should have been your response. My fingers don't work, also fuck you. My grade school teacher said my handwriting was so bad I must think I was training to be a doctor. Now I am one. I get that all the time too. My personal favorite was when I said it's difficult to date lesbians. It's a common issue with women that they were taught men should make the first move, so with 2 girls no one wants to move first. Everyone assumed I was a dude harassing lesbians and trying to make them straight, which is why they wouldn't go out with me. Made the comment before going to work and I had 200 by lunch. No man can kill me. I am no man. What is your story about that? Please write in the comments below to get the highest level of likes. Thank you for watching it. Please press a subscribe button, it will help us.